Hello, today we are going to speak very rapidly about science, and the key point is that I want to show you that psychology and mathematics are going together, and both of them are science. We are going to talk also a little bit about physics and to make the analogy between internal and external world. Our internal world and the external world, the one where we are talking about the reality. Okay, so let's start. And what is science? Science is has three components. First, observation. It's a way of gathering a set of results from experimentation. It's we are doing a lot of experiment every day. We are on the morning trying to find either coffee, either tea. We need to and we will test if coffee is better than tea or the contrary, and this is what we are going to do all the day long. We are making some experimentation and we have feedback from the experimentation we are doing. So this is the first thing, and we gather all this information into our memory, and from this set of observation we will act in consequences and do things. I'm trying to say hello to my colleagues and I have a good feedback, so next day I will say again hello, and if I don't say hello I see that they are not happy, and so by experimentation I will have different attitude. Okay, this is first thing first. Second, the synthesis. Synthesis is how to extract a law from a lot of data and to define a law which will connect causes to effect, and this is the science to this is a trust that there is a link between a set of data, and through them we will see the how a law will grow up or start being as it is. And the third, which is the most important, is the feedback, the application. I want to be pragmatical. We are making psychology to improve our satisfaction, not to talk, not to construct a theory for nothing. We are going to construct a theory for application, and the application is to increase our satisfaction, and this will help people who have psychological trouble to be more effective and to get rid of their troubles. Okay, so the application is not only explaining what happened but also what's going to happen. This is to predict the future. Predict the future, just don't misunderstand me, is don't misunderstand me is the way of dealing with essential. If you are not well in a good harmony with yourself, you won't project good feelings, and you won't project good harmony and good energy around you. So to be able to construct something which is sustainable and which is valid for the future, is to make good prediction about the essential. Okay, so now with that we can go further and try to see if psychology is a science or not. If yes, then the observation has to be an auto-observation, introspection, or if you want, in physics is observation, but for the outside world, and for internal world it's auto-observation, which is introspection. And you have morbid introspection, which is an introspection which is not objective. If you want to be objective and partial, then you had to use a method for that. Otherwise, you don't conduct your introspection positively, and instead of taking only facts, you are interpreting what's going on inside of you. The synthesis in psychology is to find a law has to be in geometry, and it has to be a demonstration. Like, if I am getting angry against someone, then I will feel guilty. This is a law, and if you don't feel guilty, this means that you are repressing your guiltiness, and it's no good. And if you make repression, you will have justification. So you see, you will feel that we depend on laws, and we are free to think what we want. It's not because we are depending on laws that we are not free to think what we free to think what we want. Is just we'll say you can think what you want, but if you think not right, then you will have consequences, and this is to be changed. Okay, and the explanation, this is where we go, and this is the aim of psychology, explanation. I want to explain you why you are sad, why you are unhappy, and to predict that if you have a choice between two ways, then each direction has its own consequences. And if I can explain you, if you do that, the A solution, then you will get satisfied. If you do the B solution, the other solution, then you will get unsatisfied. After that, I'm not telling you to take the A solution. I just let you take the decision you want, because what's going on? We have the two possibilities, A and B. With psychology, we can decide which is which, and which one is the most will bring us the most important satisfaction. Inside of us, we have, and this is why we need to make the difference between pleasure and satisfaction, because the pleasure, we have pleasure, and in short term, and satisfaction will be more in long term. And most of the time we make the short term satisfaction choice, and the choice of short term will bring us unhappiness, while the long term will bring us satisfaction. Satisfaction is something you are building, and how to build that is giving us a lot of satisfaction. Okay, so you are free to think what you want. Psychology, like mathematics, like physics, is just science here for explaining you what's going on and what will depend on your decision. Now about mathematics, I want to say that geometry, by example, is an art of making a demonstration, developing a set of theorems with consistency. And geometry with calculation, geometry with and step by step you go and you can develop all the mathematics. But you have to start from geometry, because geometry is the essential way of learning how to make a demonstration. You have two examples, the one here with how to divide a line into three segments. You can draw that with a compass on the first line, then you build parallel, and each time you draw another line from here, then you will have the division of the segmentation. Here is when you have a rectangular triangle, you have A and B, and you have the square root of A power 2 plus B power 2, and this are linking you with a kind of calculation, because the square root is not very easy to calculate, but there is a way to do it by geometry. So you see how geometry will bring us a set of different laws, or a set of different theorems, and this is the Pythagorean theorems and other. Okay, so we can make a calculation and step by step more and more. At the end, this is geometry is a language which is coherent, and the language is a way of expressing ourselves. It's a way of talking, and this is not only English, French, Russian, German, and Portuguese or other languages that I can use. It's most of them as we will see, symbolic way of talking, and this is very important for you to understand. And this is the link between all the science which is mandatory. There is no science by its own, there is no science individual, there is just one science, I will say, making a whole. Okay, so now the last point is the analogy between physics and I would say physics and psychology. I want to take off this. I'm sorry. I will change. Maybe. Sorry. No, this is not good. This is not good. Where am I? Somewhere. Anyway. Just making. I'm sorry. I'm just going back. Okay, so here we are, and we go on with the analogy between internal and external world, and this is very amazing to see how strong is the link between physics and psychology. First, about energy. Energy, we can say in psychology that we have essential or accidental energy. It's the same as potential or kinetic energy in the outside world, and you can feel it first, but we will demonstrate that later. that the potential in potential energy in physics is the distance from which these glasses can fall to the floor. This is the if the floor is here, so I can drop them and they are falling from the table to the ground, and this is the potential energy we have. But in internal world, the potential energy is the reality, the distance between the reality and the imagination. We imagine that we are better than we are in reality. We are interpreting the reality, and we are constructing reality which is not real, that is just coming from our imagination. And the distance between reality and imagination is the size of our happiness. Okay, the kinetics now is the change in the reality, and the change in the reality, kinetics is the way I throw these glasses from my hand to the table, and it has a momentum, it has a mass, and the mass will, if the mass is very so we were talking about the kinetics, which is the change in the reality. The movement, which is you have the energy on one side, you have the movement on the other side, and both are creating physics. And in physics you have the both side of the movement, either in internal world, either in external world. In outside world, you have in physics the fact that you have the mass of the object with the speed of the object. That means the distance per second, and this is the movement. Okay, and all that is the inertia, is the momentum which you have, the quantum of movement that you need to describe the trajectory of your object. Internal world, what is changing? In the internal world, the change is your motivation. Your motivation depends on the time, and it's moving. So you have the speed you are changing, your motivation will create your internal movement, and epsilon is the personal, intrinsic characteristic of yourself, like the mass is the internal characteristic of an object. This is the object of which is glasses. It has internal mass, and epsilon is the desire, internal desire to fulfill the condition of the life, which is to find the satisfaction, the real satisfaction. And this is your your intrinsic characteristic, which is done by your above consciousness, trying to find the real satisfaction. And this is what I wanted to talk and to present you, and this is what we are going to develop in the School of University of HEPM, which is the l'École des Hautes Études en Psychologie et Mathématique, which is where we develop all these during 3 years. We develop step by step all these concepts and the scheme of your psyche, which is changing and moving all your motivation, which is really extraordinary discovery made by Paul Diel 50 years, nearly 70 years ago, which is now getting in the stage of real science, in the same way as physics as is science now. Thank you very much for listening to me, and see you soon. You can please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will be glad to welcome you in HOPM anytime you want, any age you have. I am open to everyone from everywhere. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye now.